Hi, welcome. I was not expecting anyone to see this actually. Typically, I schedule stuff very far in advance. Welcome. This is going to be extremely boring. I'm just trying to figure out how to make chat work because I have been putting off chat for ever since I started streaming. I'm talking. Oh my gosh, and here we are. I'm hearing myself through my phone, which is what I'm using to test on my chat. Um, I have been neglecting chat for 5 years. 4 or 5 years. Because I have been trying to figure this out, and for some reason, it just didn't work for me. So this is going to be excruciatingly boring. The screen is going to be black. I literally am just going to mess around with the text settings, because as you can see, it's too small right now. Yeah, it's going to be really boring. I didn't even consider having my microphone on already, but welcome. Why are there 3 people here? I tried to do it private, but then something else with chat I wanted to test, it turns out that I couldn't do it on a private stream. So, here I am. It is going to be so extremely boring, I promise. How large do I make it? I think that's not so bad. Hmm. Oh, it's not saving. Hold on. What are you still doing here? Hmm. Does this size look okay? I really can't tell if that's legible because it's not showing up on OBS. Also, I need to recalibrate. Excuse what you're about to see. I'm telling you, this is scuff. Face reveal. Why is chat not showing up? Thanks for sticking around. That's an adorable emoji. I love that. That's cute. I just got a phone vibration notification. I have no idea what that sounds like on the microphone because I keep my phone propped up against the mic stand. Why is chat not showing up? The geometric face from Smash Bros. Oh my gosh, I haven't played that in so long. That reference is flying right over my head. I'm sorry. Why is chat not showing up on OBS? What is the problem? What is the problem? That's okay. I permit you to eat the chat. I have to figure this out. I've been putting chat off for 4 years. Why is it not working? I've had like 3 different people try to show me how to make this work until I gave up. So after all this time, I even had an overlay that said, can't figure out how to put chat here. Moron pointing down at me. So, I think it's time for me to evolve past that as a streamer of 4 years. Was it 5? It might have been 3 or 4. I don't know when I first started doing, like, pre-debut Twitch streams. Okay, I'm gonna close the dock. and then see, is there a way that I can refresh the thing? Hi, Yukon. Welcome. Hello, Yukon. I did try to do it as a private stream, but the stuff that I'm trying to test said it couldn't be private. And I don't know if I could have done unlisted, but then I was like, you know what would be fun? If I did it public. Low key, don't gaff. Don't gaff. Although this is, as said when you weren't here, this is going to be extremely boring. Does this mean you're going to be streaming more? I've been wanting to watch you more since I discovered you through your Language of the Lost cover. Oh my gosh, hello. Oh, that's adorable. I'm so glad to have you here. Thank you so much for coming around. Yes, I will be streaming more. I had a pretty good schedule from the 2024-2025 academic year, but then I decided to study abroad at two different intensives this semester and last semester. Let me tell you, that shit was 9 hours a day. So I did not have any time for streaming. I also wanted to. I was fucking not in any state to be streaming, and when I came online, I was like, when I got back, I mean, I was really going through it. I needed a lot of time to recover. For the first week after getting home, I slept 12 hours a day. Genuinely, for the first week, it was 12 hours a day. So, so I got home and my best buddy Yukon in the chat here was like, "Hey man, can we start recording and streaming again?" And I was like, "Oh, you're making me productive." Why are you making me productive? Because I know I should be streaming. Like, to me, streaming is a commitment that I make to myself. It involves my passion of art. It gives me like a certified window of time to play games when I don't have time in my normal life. So to me, it's a hobby, but also a commitment to myself. So now that I'm back from study abroad, um, I'm going to stream more as much as I can. My job right now is having a hard time getting me put back on since I got home. So as soon as my job gets me put back on, I don't know what my availability is going to look like because I'm hoping for full-time hours this summer. If I only get part-time, it would be unfortunate, but it's whatever. I'm hoping for full-time hours. So I don't know what my availability for streaming is going to be like, but before I went abroad, I was able to handle a pretty regular streaming schedule. Not frequent, but pretty regular. And now that I'm back, I think I can do that again. So, ideally, I'm going to be streaming once every 2 weeks minimum. That's what I was able to hold up once every 2 weeks minimum for pretty much an entire year before I went abroad. So, that is what, like, when my timing allows that. During the school year, it's also pretty difficult because I'll be a full-time student with a part-time job. But I made it work. So I'm not like a super frequent streamer, but I will be around. um, as much as I can. Typically, as soon as I finish a stream, I schedule its next replacement. Like, every time I finish a Minecraft stream, I schedule my next Minecraft stream. And then, typically, like, in my mind, I have two kinds of streams. I have Minecraft and variety. And also my collabs. So, like, as soon as I finish a Minecraft stream, I schedule another Minecraft stream. As soon as I finish a variety stream, which I mean is like Roblox or Terraria or another game that I'm not used to playing, I schedule another one. And as soon as I finish a collab stream per each partner. So, like, I have my next collab stream on tomorrow with Fernie. Um, so, like, as soon as I get off stream, then I'll message Fernie and be like, hey, when's the next good day? So typically I have 2 to 3 streams scheduled in advance at all given times. In terms of Minecraft, I'm going to schedule the next one uh, after scheduling with Fernie because I am managing my schedule very well while I'm temporarily unemployed. Um, so yeah, I'm just around. as much as I can be. It's not frequent, so I'm sorry, but yeah, I typically have 2 to 3 streams scheduled in advance. I also would love to be streaming my art and rigging because I found that I was able to before when I first like got back into regular streaming in 2024. Um, but I'm not sure how helpful that would be nowadays. I know I need to stream at least a good amount of my rigging process for the model I'm currently working on because like on top of streaming I'm actually trying to like genuinely improve my art and stuff. So um hold on, what am I yeah. I'm really working on improving my art specifically for model making, and I have a lot of model projects in the works. So, I mean, I'll cross that bridge when I get there because I have a bunch of other projects to work on in my private life accounts right now. So, I'll get there when I get there. I think I will probably stream the rest of Zomboy, but then I've got some more stuff coming up that who knows what my availability for art streams will be like. I don't know if I'll be as able to do art streams and rigging streams and stuff just because I've got a lot to do, and I don't know if it'll become difficult for me to manage streaming and drawing at the same time. But, yeah, I saw that's actually insane. How are other people so productive? Thank you for that. That's extreme. That's so, so sweet of you. I don't know. And this is why I fell off the face of the earth for the past academic year. Like, I really just wasn't able to do all of the things I was doing at once, specifically with studying abroad because I finally had access to cities where I could actually do stuff and actually be around. Whereas when I'm in my hometown and when I'm at my home university, there's literally nothing to do at night. So if I wasn't at school, if I wasn't working, if I wasn't working on an art project, I could set aside a pocket of time for myself to stream and play games. Um, but right now, I mean, it's a discipline, especially because I owe this to myself working on my streaming and everything like that. So okay, I still can't figure out how I'm supposed to make chat work on the actual overlay. Ah! Why are you like this? I try to keep on top of it because if I don't schedule the stream right after I finish it, I'm not going to. So, like my key to productivity is like as soon as you catch yourself lacking, as soon as you're like, okay, thing number 1 is done. You don't even have to do thing number 2. Schedule thing number 2. Like in terms of homework, if I'm like working on multiple parts of a long-term project and I'm like I'm working on part 1, if I don't schedule part 2, I'm not going to remember to do it. So the second I'm done with part 1, I should already be like I should know the next time I'll be working. And then I'm able to budget my energy and save up and make myself like available to work on that uh at the time. And sometimes it doesn't work out that way. But the number one thing is always making sure you have the next time scheduled because you need to know that it's gonna happen. Or else you'll never do it, or else you'll forget. A big thing for me is like I need to write down what I have to do immediately, or else I'm gonna forget. I am much better now that I'm medicated. A big thing for me is ADHD. It really, really has been difficult for me just my whole life. Um, but getting medicated just improved my executive functions so much. It doesn't help a lot in terms of like focusing on things I don't want to focus on, but it helps so much in terms of doing things I don't want to do and staying on top of assignments and everything. So I really try to keep it productive. You do also have to be kind to yourself. Oh my gosh, this is turning into a just chatting stream. I'm yapping. And I mean, I guess I didn't think that that was going to happen, but that's who I am. I am the yapper. I am the yapper. So, so yeah. I just am really working on it. It's a discipline, but if you can keep all of the things you have to do straight, that's the best way to start. Especially what was I gonna say? Lol, I forgot. Oh yeah, I write everything in I write everything in my notes app immediately. I've got to I've got to write it down the second it happens. So my notes app is like my whole life. It is like the center of my being. It is the most important app on my phone. I have like my entire identity is preserved in my notes app. If someone took all of my notes app, they could like recreate a one-to-one like model, a perfect clone of me, because my notes app is my absolute everything. So I highly value, like, I have months and months and months of scheduled to do stuff on there. I'm trying to move certain things, like if I have a block of time, I try to move it over to Google Calendar now. So like when I have a stream scheduled, I write that in my Google Calendar, because I would like to send my Google Calendar to my friends, and then we can see like when are we both free for an actual like chunk of time that isn't already designated. So yeah, for me, I try to block out like obligations there. If I know I'm going to be hanging out with a friend from 12 to 2, that's something that I would put in my GCal. But all the little things, like if I get a homework assignment, I don't even care if someone's still talking to me, like, hey, I have to write this down or else I'm not going to do it. I whip out my phone and I'm already putting that shit in my notes app. So it's all there. It's really helpful. You wish you could take ADHD meds, been prescribed like 17 and none of them worked. It's hard. It's hard. It's not always going to work for everyone. I got really lucky. I tried one med. I forget what it was called, but it wasn't a stimulant. They didn't want to try stimulants first because they thought there might have been some more going on with me that stimulants would have been bad for. So they put me on a non-stimulant, and that turned out to be the very wrong thing to do. It made me so sick. It was hard to swallow, like physically. Um, but also it spoiled my appetite. So that mixed with the difficulty swallowing, like I threw it up multiple times. And then I eventually was like, this is just not. Then they put me on Adderall, which has just absolutely changed my life. Every time that I don't take it, even on days that I'm not like doing work. So they're like, you have to take breaks from Adderall. And I take breaks from it if I don't have work or class. But if I have stuff to do that day, if I'm like, okay, I need to work on a particular drawing, I'm just not going to do it if I don't take my Adderall. I'm physically not going to do it if I don't take my Adderall. It truly changed my life. So, especially reading, for me, reading is impossible because I forget, like, I start thinking about something else while reading. And then I get too distracted. Like, I physically, oh my God, I realized that I can't even describe the feeling anymore because Adderall changed everything for me. But before Adderall, I was physically incapable of reading, not in a dyslexia way. I've had some people ask about that, but it was never dyslexia. It was literally like the attention span. I was physically incapable of reading. I physically could not pay attention to a book long enough to read it. So, Adderall changed that. And every time I don't take it, I like sincerely, I just reconsider everything. I'm like, I don't know how I lived without this. I don't know how I graduated high school without this. Sincerely, I do not know. Every time I don't take it, I can't believe that I used to live like that. It was torture, and everyone told me like, "Nah, you don't have ADHD." And now just everything is changed. My life is so much easier. And I got really lucky because ADHD meds don't work for everyone, and that's really, really stressful. That's really frustrating. I'm sorry you've had that experience. It's not fair. I got super duper lucky, and I can tell you when I found what worked for me, it was life changing. I hope that either you find like a system if meds don't work for you. I hope you find a system that works. I can't give you advice because my ADHD was so bad that no systems worked for me. I had 10 different people try to teach me how to pay attention to books, and I just, like, you can't fix ADHD. It sucks because a lot of ADHD is super system resistant. And that's why people are like, why don't you just like pay attention? Why don't you just try paying attention? Why don't you try taking notes? Oh my gosh, you cured my neurodiverse disorder. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, it's just not that easy. It's really rough. So I hope that either you find something that works for you or a med that works for you or some form of, like, it could even be talk therapy. I've heard a lot of people with ADHD go to talk therapy specifically for it. Talk therapy hasn't worked for me in relation to anything. So when they suggested that, I was like, bro, that's what, I'm in psychiatry specifically because talk therapy was not it. I am going to remove the overlay and then put it back on. Yeah, how do I remove that? Yeah. Yeah, it's the least I can do. I wish I could like actively give better tips and help on ADHD, but everything people recommended me didn't work. So I'm just at a point like I don't know how to support others. I don't remember a lot of what people told me because it was a load of neurotypical bullshit. It was a load of why don't you try this alternative form of scheduling? Why don't you try this alternative form of stuff like mini reward, like for every 30 minutes of studying, take a 5-minute break, and a 5-minute break would turn into a 3-hour scroll session, or do 30 minutes of work and then you can, I don't know, listen to music or take a little bite of candy or something. That shit never worked for me. My attention was just actually so bad. I guess now that I think about it, the Adderall did help with the attention, but the attention is secondary to the executive, which I didn't even know before Adderall. Before Adderall, I was like, man, I just can't pay attention at all. This is making school genuinely impossible. I can't do it anymore. And that sucked, but then when I started Adderall and it started helping with my executive, it made the attention just that much more manageable. It's all interconnected, I guess. Because like perhaps the two together, I never saw myself as like executively dysfunct. I didn't consider myself to have a hard time getting myself to do stuff, but it's just so much easier now. And I can't believe neurotypicals live like this. It's so unfair. I cannot believe neurotypicals live like that. Freak my freaking chungus life. Okay, and now I need to add another thing. Browser. Yeah, overlay. That's going to be width 920, 1920, and 1080. Okay, chat's working now. It's just not ideal. Okay. Stuff is loading now. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. This is actually really helpful to the entire process of the checking. And I'm so glad to be talking about this. I'm such a yapper. I did not intend to come on here and yap. I literally just I put the stream public because I had to, and then I was like, you know what? This could be funsies. And also, all the time, I know when people see like a maintenance scuff stream, people will join it, and it's just silly. Thank you for chatting with me, and I'm glad that we get to chat about this because it's something very important to me, and I like to talk a lot. One weird thing that helps with executive function is age regression. Whether or not it happens voluntarily or involuntarily, it genuinely makes it so much easier to clean or do homework. This changes everything. That's not funny. This changes everything. This changes everything. Oh my gosh, very long story of stuff I never thought I would ever tell anyone, but I started age regressing in freshman year of college, which is also right before I got prescribed Adderall in second semester senior year. Or no, sophomore year. Not a senior yet. I'm about to be. Um, Second semester sophomore year or freshman year, second semester freshman year is one of the darkest times in my life, and I started involuntarily age regressing just to get through everything, to get through the day, because I was a college student managing everything and struggling so much in my personal life. um and I didn't even realize it until I started age regressing like voluntarily. um I was essentially age regressed for the entirety of my second semester freshman year. It's all a blur. Like I really don't remember a lot of it. So I realized after a bit I was like, "Oh my gosh, I was just in an entirely different headspace." And I never like at that time whenever I would do it voluntarily and I would get to like actually like slip in to a headspace that was safer and like healing for me, I guess. Um it it was difficult because it felt forced, even though I was just trying to give myself a space to be free. And I think I found a lot of that with acting as well, especially this past semester, because a lot of theater is just play. It's just playing. It's playing a game for people to see. And it's real. So whenever we would do experimental stuff or have like an open lab type of class, like fully, I would just I would just go wild. I would let another like space in my mind kind of exist and take over, and I was primed very well for that by fall semesters, certain classes about like mask work. Um, because you really don't notice it as you're improving in theater and learning and trying new skills. Like, it just it just changed everything in terms of my performance, and that has been really really healing, including towards freshman year of college. Um, so it's strange, like rationalizing between voluntary and involuntary. And you know what? I made it through freshman year, even though like I really thought in every way that I wasn't gonna. Um, and I ended up staying in college, and I didn't want to. I never even thought of it. And it was like a self-preservation mechanism because I was so unwell and I felt so uncomfortable and unsafe in my college. In a way, like, first of all, I don't remember a lot of that year because it was just such a nightmare for me. And at the same time, being feeling like I was not responsible for myself. And that sucks because I should be responsible for myself and what I think and what I do. But being like feeling like I was just in another place and I just had to get through it. I think the age regression did help with that. I never even thought about that. And I didn't want to. I really didn't want to cuz it it wasn't it felt like it wasn't helping. It was making everything harder because then I would have to go to work and then I would have to go to school and then I would have to interact with people that didn't like me and I couldn't say no to. Like, it was difficult doing that in a smaller mindset, but at the same time I was away because I had to protect myself. um I guess in a way it helps with executive, but a lot of it was self-preservation, so it's really interesting. I never thought of it like that. Thank you for saying that. That is so fascinating. Like, genuinely, the second you said that, I was like, my whole life flashed before my eyes, but in a good way. That changes everything. I don't have much time to do it voluntarily anymore. Even involuntarily, it doesn't happen as much because I'm just like in a totally different world now than I was. And I do also have better access to certain resources, such as medication, and I'm currently working towards finding a better specialist for my mental health. Or, like, not a better specialist, because my psychiatrists are amazing, but I'm looking for someone who specializes in whatever is wrong with me, um, which is going to probably help support a lot of the other stuff that age regression helps with, but definitely like a step in time, especially because that was just before I got properly medicated. That's so, oh my gosh, I wish everyone could hear what you just said in chat. That was incredible. Life changed. Oh my gosh. You're telling me the most people can think, I want to go clean, and then they can just clean. Oh my god. It pisses me off. It's so unfair. It's so unfair. Wait, hold on. I want to test my jumping animation. Yippee! I can hide chat if I want. That's so funny. Um, hold on. I just noticed a new feature that I didn't see before. Hold on, hold on. Is that too fast? Should I change? I didn't know I could control the speed at which the scene changed. Maybe 400 milliseconds? Maybe 375. No, 350. This makes no sense. I'm just reading out numbers while I'm testing shit out. Okay, I think 350 is good. Fire. I just found the scene transition. Yay! Yeah, no, it's crazy to me. It's so unfair, because as soon, like, when I was on Adderall, I was like, oh my god, is this how neurotypicals see the world? And everyone told me that I was fine. Everyone told me I was making it up for attention. Everyone told me I was just lazy and being dramatic. And it turns out, this whole time, everyone else was living on easy mode? What the fuck? That's so not fair! Oh my gosh, and everything's better now. Which is why I can only hope that other ADHDers in my situation get access to whatever they need. Because, like, now, in my mind, I'm like, oh, thank God, I'm safe. I finally figured it out. I'm finally feeling better. Um, But like at the same time, there's still ADHDers being told they're lazy. There's still ADHDers who are undiagnosed because they're marginalized and the diagnostic resources are not good enough yet. Which I can get into in a second because I have some very strong feelings about the diagnostic criteria. Um, and there's so many people that just have to live with that. And I got the clarity of being like, oh my god, this is what it's been like for other people this whole freaking time. And it's not like this easy for everyone because Adderall is in fact, I don't know if I'm allowed to say what it is on stream, but you know what's inside Adderall. You know what's inside Adderall. And that could do a lot for anyone, but the thing is, if a neurotypical person takes it, they might get manic. Like like it is objectively a controlled substance. It's a lot. It's not a simple, I don't want to call it a drug, but I mean like it is. um I can hold on, I can remove now. Yeah. I want to take my model down a bit so that chat is a bit more visible. Yeah. Um I know that neurotypicals still have a hard time with executive and attention sometimes. Like it's not like neurotypicals live a perfect life, but they don't get what it's like when it's not just being lazy. When it's like this is actually just my whole life that I live. This is just how it is. So it's really frustrating trying to rationalize that when it's like, "Oh my god, this whole time this is just how it's like." So I like in my mind I'm super desensitized now to what it's like not having access to that, and it makes me so sad thinking back to like I can't believe that I lived like that for so long and that I was forced to because no one believed me. Um I think it's so unfair. I do feel very spiteful about how many people told me I was making it up in high school and the fact that I just had to graduate high school living school on hard mode, like extra hard mode, because it wasn't just difficult classes, it was like I'm physically incapable of doing a lot of the things. Like I can't fucking read. um I can't pay attention, so I miss a lot. Like a lot of what's happening in class just goes straight over my head, and also I couldn't. Not that I couldn't behave myself, but like the thing is, I definitely very much gave ADHD through a lot of my earlier schooling, but people didn't really read it as ADHD because I grew up as a woman. And ADHD in women and men presents, first of all, very differently, but also when boys do it, it's like, wow, you're a crazy boy. It's either like, oh, boys are boys, or it's like, oh my gosh, you're so unruly in the classroom. It makes sense that you have ADHD. You can't pay attention. You're impulsive. And when a woman does it, she's annoying. She's doing it for attention. She isn't behaved. She's not ladylike. She's not polite. It's I have so many feelings about the diagnostic criteria in ADHD. It's actually sickening to me. Um yeah, hold on. I forgot where I started. I've still, even though I took my meds today, which is very rare for a streaming day, I had some stuff to get through. I have a lot of art stuff I want to do. I have to call my job and check in about that. I've got shit to do today, so I took my meds, but you can never help the distraction of an ADHD brain, especially an ADHDer who is like a yapper through and through. Oh yeah, I was also gonna mention they can just clean. Yesterday I went on a crazy cleaning spree. I cleaned out my whole kitchen. I went through all the cupboards, threw out everything past due date or past best by date, organized everything perfectly by content and like box size, and like I just went insane. And that's like the thing is like you can't, I couldn't do it just cuz I wanted to. I did it cuz I was procrastinating drawing. like for ADHDers, sometimes it's not a superpower. I will never ever say it's a superpower because that's just like disrespectful to the actually debilitating parts of it. But like under the right circumstances, an ADHDer will just go absolutely wild on a task. And for me, it's because I was procrastinating. And also, I'd taken my meds. So, so that's also a big part of it. Also, okay, yes, thank you so much for saying it's not a boring stream. I appreciate it. I really wasn't expecting to see anyone in chat. I was just gonna mess around with it until I got chat to work up on stream. So, I'm glad that you came. I'm glad that you came in. I'm glad that you asked about my streaming plans because I will be around. I will be back to streaming regularly. um, I'm very much I'm excited to be able to stream regularly again. And it's been really, really hard for me getting back into it just because of everything I went through this past year. It's been like, it's a long story that I'm sure will unravel through many more streams, but it's hard to stream. It's hard for me to say I'm excited to stream because part of me is like, I just don't want to do anything anymore, especially that involves socializing. But at the same time, while I'm still actively working on my rigging, it's important work to me. I'm gonna figure it out. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for making it not boring. I was just gonna delete this broadcast right after I got off, but you know what? I'll rename it to impromptu just chatting stream. Hold on. Wait, I think I have a just chatting screen. Pink mic. Yay! Thank you so much for letting me know. I'm so sorry about that. That was really annoying. I was yapping for a very long time without realizing until I vaguely looked over at chat. I am going to quickly update chat. I'm going to do custom. Custom. This is a really basic chat look. Position, size, and style. But yeah, 100%. I wish there was better education about ADHD because it would just save so many people so much hurt. So much pain and hurt. And also difficulty because life should not be as difficult as it was. Truly, truly, truly. It's exhausting. Okay, yeah, I realized that. So, my microphone, I have it like in my OBS as an audio input. However, every other week it stops working and I have to create a new like input for it, and it's the same thing. I literally just have to like create a new little I need to make this longer on the bottom. I'm sorry you can't see what I'm currently working on. It's it's going. Soon enough I'll have a just chatting stream with the chat on screen. And this is huge. This is absolutely monumental. Text settings. I'm going to go 40. Whoa, that's big. 30. Does 30 appreciate? 30. 30. 25 is better? 25. And I don't like this font. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I just needed to recreate the input for it, and I haven't used this background for like a year. I used to use this background to record little TikToks. Oh goodness. Yeah. I used to use this to record TikToks, but I haven't been doing TikTok for a while. I really only use YouTube now. I see, if hypothetically someone were to make fan art of your model, do you have any socials? Oh, that is so sweet. That is adorable. Thank you for asking. I don't have any socials in the way that, like, Twitter is a social where you can send people stuff. I have a TikTok that I don't use for posting, but I have access to. Although I don't think the image, sending feature is good enough for sending art, so to speak. I do, however, what I do have is a Discord server for content creators. That is, I can send a link in chat. That is like the last thing I use my TikTok for, because I don't really do stream clips just because my streams are like 3 hours long. It's really hard for me to root through them for the funny moments because I spent so much of my time yapping on stream and just like shooting the shit. Which is like, I could do more clips of things that I talk about on stream, but it's just not, it doesn't hit like the funny stuff. I don't have any more good ideas of like funny stories to tell and post because TikTok is demanding, dude. Getting any traction to build an audience is fucking rough. I deleted Twitter because I never used it, and also it's like impossible to grow on Twitter and there's nothing to do. I don't know. So I only have TikTok, but in terms of messaging, I can send little content creator Discord. I also like have a Discord like accessible for sending messages to. Hold on. Let me check though. There were also a couple messages I did not catch up on. Productive procrastination is in fact still procrastination. But yeah, thank you. I eventually ended up getting my art done. The night before, I was like straight up just procrastinating. Like I was doing nothing but hanging out in my bed, and then I stayed up until like 1 a.m. and I was like, yeah, I'm not getting any art done tonight. So I did fall a little bit behind, but then it turns out I missed a day in my schedule of planning out when I would draw. So technically, I didn't lose any time because I just moved all of my stuff to that day, and now everything's fine, and I'm gonna finish all of my stuff now. Even if, like, sometimes I put out a really ambitious goal and it turns out, like, I just physically don't have the time to do it in that day. So I have to push stuff back a lot. But right now, that's not my problem because it's summer. I'm just waiting for my job to get back to me, which I do have to call them today. mm. Oh yeah, very, very likely to get diagnosed when you were 4 because you have inattentive ADHD. I totally get that. I also have, um, it's classed as inattentive ADHD. I, though, also didn't really, my psychiatrist didn't know me when I was younger, and I very much, like, I was hyperactive, but then there's also the thing of, like, was I just a kid? Or was that ADHD, or do I just have ADD? I mean, I definitely have ADD. I think the hyperactivity, it's much more chill now that I'm older, but it really did get to me when I was younger. I need to, what's the font? I need to pick a font. I like the Helvetica, it looks cute. Sorry, he disappeared. I'm simultaneously playing Terraria with friends, and the big eyeball spawned. Ah! No, you're valid for that. You're valid for that. I hear you. I can't do Terraria. Yukon, my buddy, tried to play it with me. It was like during either it was like my return to streaming or it was I think it was like the week of my official debut, and I humiliated myself so bad. I had people in chat trying to explain the interface to me. I couldn't play the game, like I sucked at the game, and I was having such a hard time playing it. And then Yukon was like, hey, can you find this thing in your inventory so we can swap stuff? And I physically couldn't figure out what buttons to hit. That was a painful stream. We had to end after like an hour or two because I physically couldn't play the game. Another buddy of mine recently had me play it, and I understand the layout a little bit better now, but still rough. I still, like, can't play the game. I'm not good at it, but I get used to the interface now. Another thing that a lot of people mistake for having hyperactive ADHD, but it's just because I also have bipolar. That makes a lot of sense. And that also may be why, ADHD meds, or at least certain ones, don't work very well for you. This is what I was talking about, actually, funny enough, when I said that my psychiatrist didn't want to give me stimulants at first. It was because in my screening for ADHD, he looked at it and he was like, there may also be traces of bipolar, so here's a bipolar screening as well. And that ended up being inconclusive. So there's like the hypothetical chance that I have bipolar, but he was like, if we give a bipolar person stimulants, there is a chance that just like a neurotypical, you would become manic, and it wouldn't help you because just stimulants and bipolar don't mix, I guess, is how, like, he was just like, we need to see first. And then the initial non-stimulant he gave me didn't work, and we tried stimulants. There's certain things where it's like, I don't know if I'm going through mania. I don't know where I'm struggling with my mental health, because I have a lot of other things that I'm being considered for as well right now. It's very long-winded. It's very complicated, at least for me. Hold on, let me save this overlay. Just chatting. It's saved, so I think... Yeah. So yeah, it's hard when there's like a million other things that it potentially could be. Hold on, I'm gonna make a new scene for just chatting, so it's probably gonna mute my microphone for a second. But yeah, it's not easy, dude. Mental health is hard, especially like having bipolar as well. Like, those two are a deadly combo. That is no fun. That is no fun. And I'm sorry that you have to deal with that also being an issue conflicting with medication. It's a really, really rough combo. And finding the right sitch. What happened is they put me on lamotrigine, which is a mood stabilizer, and they're still trying to find the right dosage for me. I don't know if it's even the right med, because of a lot of reasons that I don't. It's just a long story. I could spill out my whole ass mental health history. I don't know if it's right for me, but it did, at least initially. I noticed it made a drastic change. And then after being put on the Motrigine, that worked really well with Adderall. And I was like, wow, finally I'm on a really good med setup. Like, that changed fucking everything. I don't know if that's a similar stitch for anyone else, because I also do hear and appreciate um, the idea of people being like, okay, do we need to solve every problem with meds? I know a lot of people who really criticize that the medical industry involves so much emphasis on meds. I'm only saying this because after 7 years of talk therapy, meds are the only thing that worked for me. So it is really, really different for everyone, but that was just the only thing that worked for me, and it may not be the only thing that works for others. I'll send the server link in a second also. I just need to set up my just chatting. Yay! Yay, 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 yay! I need to change the size of my model here. My guy can be a little bit larger. My issue is that if I put the model any higher, I can't jump. But also, that is really not the most important feature of my model. Yay! Look at that! This is awesome! I'm gonna make my model just a little bit bigger so it fits in the... I want to put it in the middle. This is okay. This works. Okay, I'm gonna go grab that server link for you. It's pretty much dead now, which is also because when I went abroad, I made this server literally like days before I went abroad, and I was like, Gangalicious, I am physically not going to be able to stream a lot when I'm abroad. I did manage to do, I think, 2 streams um, during the fall semester, but then shit got crazy and I just couldn't stream anymore. And I'm the kind of person, I'm like, if I were able to contribute to the community regularly, if I were able to be here regularly, I would be able to cultivate a lively and, like a functional community space in a Discord for content creators who are motivated and ready to collab and stuff. But just the timing was really awful. I don't know if I'm going to get back to a place where I'm able to do that, because after the past year that I went through, that's going to be a million times harder than it would have been at the time. But I'm choosing right now to remain optimistic. I think I can get there. It's just going to take a really long time, and unfortunately that may mean a lot of people leaving. It may mean a lot of restructuring. It may mean a very, very dead server for a long time, but at the very least, I'm here for now. Let me hit the invite to server. I'm going to do a single day invite. I'm gonna do, you know what? I'm gonna do I'm gonna do a 1 hour invite for this one. I think there's a permanent invite on my TikTok account, but that's my TikTok account. Yeah. I hope that works. Let me know if that works. The one medicine that helps for me, doesn't help with my ADHD, but it makes a big difference, is lithium. Okay, that's interesting. I'd heard about that. Yeah, it hold on, I got distracted. I had a friend talk to me about that, and I didn't know. I spoke with my psychiatrist, and I was like, I don't know if lamotrigine is the one for me. And at that time, I was on 75 milligrams because I'd already tried going up to 100, and it just, for some reason, something about the specific dose 100 just absolutely destroyed me. I was like in a really bad mental state. I went through, I think, like a full ass paranoid episode. Like I just couldn't do the 100. I don't know if it was just the wrong time in my life. So I was at 75 and I was like, I don't think lamotrigine is the right one for me. And my psychiatrist was like, okay, well, anything stronger takes blood work, and I don't want like that's just going to be a whole process. Lamotrigine, the therapeutic effects of lamotrigine start at 100, and you can go higher from there. But most people say that the therapeutic effects go from 100 milligrams to 200. So I was like, fine, I'll try it again. Only because we're going up. And the 100 was really rough again. I was like, the 100 is fucking awful. And my psychiatrist was like, let's try it again. Let's just keep going. Let's go 125. Right now, I'm currently at one... Am I getting... Oh, that's my phone. Yeah. I'm currently at 175. I still don't know if it's right, but I'm trusting to at least keep trying for a little bit longer, and then if it really is a problem, I think I am gonna bring it up. But I don't know, because I don't even know if it's a mood disorder. Like, we still don't know if it's bipolar. So, you know, it's just been a long, long line of trying to figure out what to do. It's also fun to go up to people and tell them, I eat the stuff they put in batteries multiple times a day. That's so funny. I never even thought of it like that. That's fascinating. That's fascinating. That's me with telling people what's inside Adderall. I love telling people that that's what I take every day. Although someday I'm probably going to get in trouble for that by someone who doesn't know that it's just Adderall. I say it in front of my friends all the time and they're like, you can't say that in public. You can't say that. Please stop talking about what's in Adderall. It's evil. Probably get told this a lot, but your voice is genuinely so nice to listen to. That is so, so sweet. Thank you for saying that. I'm very proud of my voice. It's not where I want it to be. I still have a lot of testosterone to take. I'm not done at all. But thank you. That actually really means a lot more to me than you know. That's so, so sweet. It's something I try for very hard. I've worked on my voice for a long time as well. I was in choir for 6 years, and this past semester specifically, all the voice teachers I worked with were like, you have to keep doing it. And even like not just singing, they were like, you have the voice of a performer. You need to share this. And sorry, I'm like, I'm bragging right now. I'm gloating only because I absolutely fucking loved my previous program from spring semester. It just changed fucking everything. So yeah, no, that means actually so much to me. That means a lot more than you know. I try. It's a long journey, but I don't know. I guess a long history of choir and theater really, really make for solid projection. And I'm glad that my voice is nice to listen to. That's so sweet. And don't worry about taking a while to respond. I mean, like, technically I'm also taking a long time to respond because I know the stream latency is fucking awful. I don't know if it's specifically my connection or if there's anything that I could do to improve the stream latency, but and I also don't know if I can control that, because I saw some setting about latency, but I don't know if it's genuinely just my connection that makes the stream take so long to update. But yeah, no, that's not you, don't worry. If anything, I'm sorry about the latency. Oh, brains are weird. Brains are so weird, dude. There's so much going on, and you never know. Although, alas, it is time for me to depart. Thank you so much for turning such a silly little, testing stream into a very lovely chatting session. I had a great time getting to just yap it out. It was lovely speaking with you. Thank you for being here in chat. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Okay, I have not even tried to pronounce your name this whole time, because every time I see someone in chat I get nervous, but I see that it seems to be an abbreviation of ramen noodles. Ramen noodles. Ramen noodles. That's what I'm gonna say for now. Just to acknowledge and honor, thank you so much for joining me, ramen noodles. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. And bye-bye.